Whether you're fly fishing in a stream, getting those ankles wet, or deep in the ocean casting nets, Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. It's a podcast. Just for the halibut. Fried in a basket or broiled in a pan.
Hello and welcome to the Fish Nerds, a show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. Clay Groves hanging out with you on National Podcast Posting Month. It is day 18 of our 30-day podcasting challenge. Every single day this month, you're getting a brand new podcast into your ears. We're hoping that you will participate by calling the Fish Nerds Hotline, 607-378-FISH, or going to fishnerds.com, finding the record icon on our website, and recording your memo there, and we will get it here on the podcast for you. Today's pet peeve is brought to you by Doc Martin. Yeah, the Doc Martin. The one and only Doc Martin, our chief science correspondent for the Fish Nerds podcast. She got together with John King and dropped this pet peeve into your ears.
Hello, Fish Nerd Nation. Guess who I have in the studio this morning? Our favorite correspondent ever, the one and only Doc Martin. Good morning, Doc Martin.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, so you contacted me yesterday and you said something about maybe I better help y'all out with some pet peeves. And that would be awful wonderful if you would go ahead and do that. So, because we don't just need them from fishers. We are about fishing and eating fish. So the science pet peeves are more than welcome. So where do you want to start? What do you want to do? Do you want to just take it from here and let me come in or?
Well, I guess I can start with something that's maybe applicable to fisher people and scientists first.
Sounds great.
In fisheries. And that is one of my pet peeves is watching people mishandle fish or keep them out of the water too long.
We share that pet peeve. It is a very deep one for me.
And that's a hard one too. So of course I have my daughter. I take her fishing because she loves the outdoors and she is really good at it. And I have the best video where she's pulling out a little sunfish from my parents' lake. That's where I grew up and that's where I went fishing. And she's pulling it out of the water. She goes, "Mommy, it's a red ear." And then I was like, "It is. That's right." And so that's so exciting. And you want to get, a picture and a video, and she wants to hold those fish. And I get that innate want to do those things, but we say hello to the fish and we take it off and we say goodbye to the fish and we get back in the water as soon as you can, and sometimes that means you don't get those cool photos that you want, and that is a bummer.
Well, it is a line to walk.
Yeah,
I'm already so bowled over though that she's got the species ID happening. That's so sweet and so impressive in the same breath. But yeah, I am so with you. I will intervene. I try to do it. I'm not near as nice a person as you, Doc. Like the other day, one of my friends caught himself a bass, and I took a picture of him with it. I thought that'd be good. Then I see him over with his camera out, positioning it, laying his rod down beside it. It's like I finally yelled, "That fish can't breathe, don't you?" And I did have a rock in my hand, but I was never going to throw it. It was only for emphasis.
Oh, well, that's good.
Seriously. And then oh gosh, the kids, I love the kids. Are they open-minded? Do they care? But sometimes it's Instagram generation. I had to jump on my nephew, TJ, in a gentle way. But I was like, he caught a beauty, about 6 pounds. And his friend Jared, once again, was, "All right, now hold it like this. Now let's get the sun on the other side of your face." And I'm just like, we're done. Let's get her back.
I have a question that I was pondering as I'm listening to you talk. So, you mentioned the Instagram generation, which basically, everything has to be photographed. And there's a lot of evidence that shows just the number of photographs that humanity produces per day has just blown up, right, since the 1800s, which makes sense. And so then I wondered, I remember as a kid with the Polaroids and the little snap cameras, I definitely have photos of me holding fish as a child. That has to take longer than the cameras we have today. So then I wondered, I'm not an art aficionado, right, of like paintings and things, but I have to imagine at some point there are people standing in paintings holding fish, right? I would think there were.
Yes, correct.
And so all I'm saying is How long did they have to hold the fish for, John?
Yeah. In fact, I think there's some cave paintings that involve that. So maybe I'll say a couple things about that. There, first of all, so some of the paintings are just straight from imagination or
Sure.
looking at a preserved specimen, whether it's been taxidermied or is there on a plate waiting to be cooked or what have you. But,
Mhm.
in a lot of those old photos, I will tell you, those fish are on their way to Crisco Lake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're
For
they're
sure.
they're done. They're however much time they want to take with their photo, it's all good because I have a ton of
Yep.
well, not a ton, but I have my share of fish photos when I was a little kid, and there ain't one of them that's a catch and release photo. Now, when I
Yeah.
got to be a teenager and we went up to Canada and stuff, I'm not trying to be a snob, but that was one area where I was blessed because I had decent cameras and you could whip out, get the shot. It wasn't much different than your phone. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, you look at those old black and whites, or one of my favorite things to do is to go into an old timey tackle shop where they've got a wall of fame or they've got a cash register that's just covered with Polaroids and then you had the Polaroid. That was a quickie,
Mhm.
quick and instant too. So I don't know.
That you're
But-
not supposed to shake, for the record.
and you're yes. You are not supposed to shake because you'll mix up the chemical in there. But anyway, okay, good pet peeve. That will call
Okay.
Doc's pet peeve number 1.
Hope you enjoyed that. And if you send us your pet peeve, you'll be entered to win fabulous prizes from Glasswater Angling and the Fish Nerds. That's all we got for day 18.